Oh yeah.
The windows work perfectly. They're a little slow, but that's just because they need lubrication. I got a battery light and I got this light. I think it's brake wear or something. I'm not sure what it is, but anyway, that's a really good sign. And the horn works. How about that? Hey, welcome back to the garage, everyone. All right, so for months and months and months and weeks and months and, well, a really long time, I've been working on those other two vehicles at my shop, namely the Corvette and the Cadillac, to get them back on the road in a proper fashion and dependable and all those kinds of things. That was my goal, and it has been achieved. And this weekend we're adding one more vehicle to the fleet. I started putting videos on YouTube back in '09, just some, you know, trivial nonsense. You know, didn't really take it very seriously at all. It was just a novelty, something to play around with, you know. But when I picked up that W126 Mercedes back in the summer of '19, that started something. It started something kind of special. And I never was a fan of Mercedes automobiles, to be perfectly honest with you. Always thought they were a little bit stodgy. If you don't know what stodgy means, look it up in the Webster's online dictionary of idioms, I guess. I was sitting around work one day back in, I don't know, when was that? 2010, I guess it was. And I was looking around for a new car. I used to work in an office environment. So a buddy of mine pulls up to my cube and he's looking at me sift through cars online. He goes, "Have you ever thought about buying a Mercedes?" I was like, "Nope, not really." So I started looking around. And lo and behold, I found that W210 station wagon, that 2000 model, and the price was really good. Only had 100,000 miles on it. And that thing was built like a battleship. It was unbelievably fast. Ran down the road like it was on rails. Just an unbelievably solid car. I ended up selling it because, well, it had a little over 200,000 on it, and I had too many irons in the fire, and that was one that I just didn't want to pursue any longer. So actually I sold it to the mechanic that was working on it. But anyway, I'm digressing. So fast forward to 2019, I start looking around on the internet again. I need to quit doing that. And I started noticing this propensity or this attraction or this popularity for diesel Mercedes. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty fascinating. And I watched a lot of videos on diesel Mercedes, and I saw that they retain value and so on and so forth. And that led me to, you know, picking up the 126 here. I guess it's been 6 years now. And so we got that car done, and I absolutely love that car. I daily drive it. That is my daily go-to vehicle. So having said all that, I think you know where we're going with this. Our next project car is going to be a Mercedes. It's going to be a classic Mercedes. So we're going up to South Carolina this weekend. Found this on the Facebook Marketplace. You guys may have seen it, may have seen the ad and passed it over. As a matter of fact, I need to get in the left-hand lane and pay attention to driving. You guys may have seen this vehicle on the Facebook Marketplace and passed it over, but I was thinking to myself, I don't know, man, there's something about that car. Must be the crappy photography. That's really attractive. If the previous owner or the future previous owner watches the video, I'm just yanking your chain a little bit, buddy. So what are we getting? We are going to pick up an R107. That's a fact. And one of my viewers guessed it on the Impala Man's Garage Facebook page. You guessed correctly. He said, you know, it's either an W123 or an R107. We're picking up a 1973. We're picking up an early one, a 1973 450 SL. So we got the 4.5 liter V8 motor. A V8 motor, got the convertible top on it, also has the hard top. Apparently this car has been sitting in this fellow's warehouse for 7 years, 8 years, something like that. The car came out of New York. I said he got it from an elderly couple, or he might be the third owner. I can't recall. We'll talk to the fellow later on and I'll get all the details straight. But he's either the second or the third owner. I don't know why the vehicle was parked up. He said the motor turned. This car hasn't been cranked in years and years and years. So we've got our work cut out for us. We're not going to try to start the vehicle until we get it back to the garage, however, because, you know, there's just too many unknowns. You got all the DJ-tronic fuel injection. Is the fuel tank okay? You know, all it. Did a mouse make a nest in the intake manifold? I don't know. We got to figure all that stuff out. We're going to go over here to Central Georgia. We're going to pick up Dr. Eyeball because he's going to help us this weekend, and I'm kind of looking forward to that. So you guys stay tuned. We'll talk to you here in a little bit. All right, we made it to Dr. Eyeball's house, finally. About a 5-hour drive. The old Silverado did a good job though. And our U-Haul rig towed just fine, got 11.7 on the gasoline units there. So that's not too shabby for an 8.1 496 big block. Pull in a 18 million pound empty car trailer. Have you ever weighed a U-Haul car hauler? It's ridiculous. I don't know how much it weighs, but it's a lot. So anyway, we're gonna check out Bessie, which is the 1995, previously Air Force pick-em-up truck. This is a 3500, K3500 with a what, the 6.5 diesel? And you did some interior work, right? Ooh, fancy. Back seat looks wonderful. Oh man, you got a new headliner. Yeah, I did that myself. Holy cow. Man, we came through and we had to do a lot of work to the hood. As you recall, we cut holes in it and reinforced it and put welded in patches, and it was a huge job. But now, holy cow, look at this. Brand new headliner, nice light up there. Uh-oh, missing a lens. I'm sure we'll fix that later. But this is an Air Force truck, so no carpet, just a rubber floor there, so looks awesome. Now this truck was originally Air Force blue, but the previous owner just kind of, we think they rattle canned it, to be honest with you, but we really don't know. So seems to run good, and that truck gets used clearly because, you know, mud, gauges. It's now a race truck. You didn't tell me you were racing the truck. Oh, no. Holy cow, what do we got here? We got boost, baby. Oil pressure. And some, it's a GPS speedometer. That's pretty cool. Does your speedometer not work?
It's about 10 miles off.
Is that because of the wheel height or what? 4-wheel drive, clearly. There's the big monster horsepower 6.5, just loaded with all the horsepower that 1995 had to give, right? Yeah. Now my camera needs some Viagra. The turbo's new, right?
No.
I thought you replaced it. Or what'd you
I cleaned it up.
You just cleaned it up. Okay. All right.
I put new gaskets in. stuff on this side.
What is this over here? Oh, it's a tie wrap. That's a special modification, that tie wrap sticking out there.
Yep. Save that for the fans. Okay.
New alternate. Yeah, fire it up. Let's hear this beast run. Glow plugs. Fuel pump. Oh yeah, baby. You got exhaust leak or you got headers on it? That's a manly sound. There's no, did you straight pipe it? Oh yeah. That's a manly sounding truck there. All right, we're going to take a look at Dr. Eyeball's shop. So we got plenty of shelves, various and sundry implements of destruction.
Michael.
Yeah. You know, you're going to make my editing process really difficult with this. Well, I'm saving the best for the last here. Really, is what I'm doing. I mean, you got your air hose, you got your compressor, you got your Craftsman toolbox. You know what's not to like here. You got your mobile bench, you got your cabinets, you got your little assortment of various parts and whatnot. Some more cabinets. Got your press, and you have a full rack of hose clamps from O'Reilly. One other thing that's really nice here in the shop is this motorcycle lift. Now, I don't know why. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I see why. Dude, nice Harley. This is, what do you call this, an Electra Glide? What is this?
Ultra Classic.
This is the Ultra Classic. Limited in black, no doubt, right? In black, right? What the hell are you doing over there? They don't want to be on camera, so they're trying to distract me. So Dr. Eyeball is a huge fan of black, which is perfectly cool. Oh, you have a white wall tire too. That's classy. I like that.
Well, I took one off the back. I'm going to change that one too.
Okay. LED lights. Yep. LED light upgrade. Which piece is it? Now, is this stock or did you do that?
It's stock.
Is it? Okay. And the black pipes, is that stock?
No, that's not stock.
That's your doing, is the black pipes. You said Ultra Classic?
Ultra Limited. Yeah, same thing. It might even crank, I don't know.
Well, it's got battery power. Choke. Oh yeah. America, baby. LED lights. It's on fast idle, I'm assuming right now. All right. He's part of the Bigfoot research team. All right, it sounds like the fast idle is off. Now it's on normal idle. You put a camshaft in this thing, right? So it's not stock. It's bad to the bone. He's got an upgraded camshaft, lifters, whole 9 yards. What's your horsepower? About 120, 125 horsepower. So give us a like for the Harley. All right, we finally made it to the previous owner. Well, he's the previous owner. Yeah, the previous owner's shop. How about that? If you can't tell, I'm a little bit excited. Okay, this is pretty cool. So we're here at the previous owner's personal shop. So we're not going to talk about any names or anything like that. Keep the man's privacy his own. So here we go, folks. 1973 Mercedes-Benz 450 SL with a nice 4.5 liter V8. The kitty cat's been making it at home for a little while, so we got some hair on the roof there, but that's okay. It took us a little bit of time to get the soft top pulled back down, but we got that unlatched. Dr. Eyeball was instrumental in that. Got a screwdriver in there, the universal tool, don't you know? We got the hard top loaded up there and latched in place. She's got some rust, but it's just surface rust. We'll sand it out and it'll be fine. And the body is straight. She might have had a whammy in the back at some point, because I see a little ripple right here. There's one right there, and there's one on the other side. And I'm guessing it took a shot to the bumper. That's just my initial eyeball impressions. I really, really do not know. So, not gonna let it worry me too much though. Because when you come up here and go like this, you know, and then you go like, boom, Mercedes, baby. It's a little dark in here. Sorry about that, but it'll be all right. The seats, I could probably put a little foam in there and it'll be okay. I don't think they need to be reupholstered. I think they'll clean up really nicely. The dashboard is not cracked. The instrumentation in the middle is perfectly fine. There's no wood on this car, so you don't have to deal with restoring wood, although there's a little bit of plastic degradation right in there, but we'll figure that out later. The main thing is getting the thing running again, so. And here we go. There we go. Mercedes shut. Probably got an electric antenna, I'm assuming. And looks like we got a sticker here, 1999. This came out of New York. Apparently the original owner came out of Hyde Park, New York. So we're looking at 26 years since this car was last licensed to run on the roads. The hood release is in here somewhere. Had to teach myself how to open up the hood there. Anyway, it looks like it's all stock up underneath the hood. A little dirty, but you know, what are you gonna, you know, it is what it is, right? So I was wondering where the air conditioning compressor was on this guy. And it looks like an A6 Harrison. Looks like something off a GM car. It's way down in there. Big, long rascal. We'll take a look at that later. Compressor, the distributor is underneath this cover right here. It's just a protective cover. Power steering, of course. Alternator. Everything is here. Overflow bottle, windshield washer. No telling how old this battery is. What is that? Delco 60. Interesting. The probably have to latch that down for the trip, I think. But got a little small, I'm assuming this is for the air conditioning, a little condenser fan there. I look down here, we got some rust down in here, but I don't think there's anything that I can't deal with. All in all, the car it's really, really solid. This light here is broken, but he gave me a brand new one out of the box, so that's pretty cool. Well, anyway, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and get this guy loaded up on the U-Haul trailer and get on down the road. All right, we're back here at Dr. Eyeball's house. And a few additional assessments after we've got it into the bright sunlight. It's even better than I thought. Although there are some troubling areas, but nothing we can't handle. My previous worry that this was a rear impact has been put to bed. This is a side impact because I can see a yellow marking. This is a yellow post. So the car was bumped into a yellow post, or a yellow post was bumped into the car at some point. And I thought it was suspicious. I thought it might have been a rear impact because there's one over here too, but this, you can see a line here going this way, and this was also an impact, but it was just separate. Anyway, this is missing, but it's in the spare tire, so we have all four of the caps. The muffler is completely blown out. I thought maybe there was some rust on the hood, but how about we just do a little spit test there with a finger rub, and it's just dirt. I think this car is going to clean up really, really nicely. Sounds like Dr. Eyeball is firing up Max to move him around a little bit. We got lenses broken in the light here. I don't think that'll be a huge deal to find these. These cars are not uncommon, so this shouldn't be a problem. But I think these are probably readily available. I could probably find these. This one's broken half, and that one over there is cracked. So very common issue. I don't think any of that's going to cause us any grief. But yeah, that hole up in there, that's kind of a nasty area, but it'll be okay. We can handle it. This is just surface rust. I don't think there's any holes there. We took a look at the engine bay earlier, but for right now, what we're going to do is we're going to take a battery charger, and we're going to see if we can get these windows to raise. And then we're going to give the old girl a much needed bath. So, yep. All right, we got the battery out of there. We got the battery terminals cleaned up, and we're just going to hook a battery of Max up to the Mercedes and see if it smokes or not. You're for sure got the right ones on the right ones, right? Okay. All right. These are nasty. Where'd these? Oh, these came out of the Mercedes, didn't they?
Yep.
All right, we got juice connected. I don't see any smoke coming out of the engine bay.
Buzzer.
Yep, the buzzer is buzzing. We have an interior light. We have a door open buzzer. I think the key is in the ignition. Ow! Who designed this trailer? Key out, buzzer goes off. Of course not. I don't want to turn it any further. That's the crank position.
Are you sure?
I don't know.
I don't see any battery light turned on. It's not charging. Should be.
That's the lights right there.
There you go.
Here we go. Whole goal here is to wash the car, obviously.
Oh yeah.
The windows work perfectly. They're a little slow, but that's just because they need lubrication. I got a battery light, and I got this light. I think it's brake wear or something. I'm not sure what it is, but anyway, that's a really good sign. And the horn works. How about that? That's badass. Okay, the whole goal here was to raise the windows so we can wash this beast. Let's do that next. It's time now for Junk in the Trunk with yours truly and Dr. Eyeball. All right, let's see what we've got here in the 107 trunk here. So right off the bat, something everybody needs in the back of their Mercedes, the last minute bag. When you get called off to the ultimate keg party and you need some luggage, I think this is what this is all about. This is written in German.
It's factory.
It just says feather light. I'm assuming that means easy or feather light. And then there's a bunch of long German words I can't say. So this came with the car from Germany, I'm guessing. That's pretty cool. That's a keeper. We have a spare valve cover thingy. This, I'm assuming, these are the OEM tools. Yep, that's the Mercedes lug wrench. And that's probably the Mercedes screwdriver. I don't know where the Mercedes toolkit bag is, but it looks like the tools are all here. There's some rust in this floor, but it's not. I think it's going to be okay. So we got the Mercedes. This is from the Mercedes toolkit. Got a 14 and a 17. Oh, that's a Craftsman. And then that's the tire holder downer thingy, I guess. And it's a rod of some sort. That's pretty fancy. Anyway, so there you go. Mercedes tools. vintage duct tape, or I mean masking tape, made in the USA, I might add. It's out of place here, isn't it? Oh, this must be, what do you think that is? Looks like a fuse remover, doesn't it?
Might be.
I think that is a fuse removing pair of pliers. Antique pin. And the jack. I showed my viewers how to use these Mercedes jacks on a previous video, and it is pretty mind-blowing the way it actually works. Really, it doesn't look like this would work at all. It looks like you'd kill yourself trying to jack a car with this thing, but it's actually really good, and the car is stable when you use it. What else do we have here? He was a tennis player, clearly. That's a tennis ball cover, can cover. This is a Wilson. How about that? You guys ready for a match? Match point, baby. This is one of the cheaper rackets, though. I used to play with a T2000, which is what Jimmy Connors played with when I was a kid on the tennis team. Hardest freaking tennis racket to play with on the face of the planet. Ooh, look at that. Factory wiper blade replacements. These might be, no, there's just one in there, I think. That will give me a part number. If that's the right one, it gives me a part number to go buy something. What do we got here? Some goop of some sort. That's written in German, and I don't know what it is.
It's touch-up paint.
Touch-up paint. Nope, you're right. There is a little vial of silver paint. So somebody was trying to do some stuff. That is a really nasty, not unlike you, actually. It's an electrical connector of some kind. No, look at that. It looks like a lock. See that?
That's a microphone.
Is that a microphone? That's a microphone. You're right. It's a microphone. I don't know anything about microphones.
Adapter.
It's like an antique microphone. I'm just an idiot. I don't know what things are. Here's a thing with some cards in it. Fashion director in New York. Specialty Stores Association. This is, I don't know what this, I'm not going to give the lady's name, but to say she was the fashion director. And got her phone number. These are business cards. Might have been that fellow's beloved. Kenneth is the guy's first name. And what did he do? He was a manager. Pete Marwick, Mitchell and Company. Sounds like a law firm. R107 Mercedes. Fashion designer. Lawyer. You know, I think we're putting the puzzle together here. According to the, and this is the little doohickey that holds the tire down. And I guess the spare goes in this, down inside there. So according to the story that from the previous owner, this thing was owned by a fairly, I don't want to use the word elite, but I think they were well-to-do folks. And he thinks they just got elderly and couldn't drive the car anymore. Having said all that, I just noticed something that I think is interesting, and it may complicate our lives quite a bit. None of the bolts are in the gas tank cover. They're all right here. And I was wondering what these bolts were, and they go right here. So behind this is the fuel tank. Why? Which looks to be in perfect condition. Now that's either new, or it's just the way that it is because, it was always behind a cover. That looks like a new tank. Does it not look like a new tank to you?
Mm-hmm. It does.
It doesn't look like, look at these clamps over here. There's no corrosion much on them. So that's pretty interesting.
Amazing.
When I get back to the shop, I'll run a borescope down in this thing. Hopefully it's nice and clean, won't have any problems. But that is pretty extraordinary find, actually. So that's pretty cool. All right, that's all for this segment of Junk in the Trunk. Join us next time when we do something mildly interesting. All right, we're going to take a look at the interior real quick. The GoPro is, well, it's being a GoPro, so it's on the charger. And looks like we got manual locks. And according to what I read was, I guess when you have power and you unlock the car with the key, it unlocks the fuel door. Because I was trying to open the fuel door. Pretty much works, I think, the way the 126 does as well. So take a look at a couple of quick things here. The brake release. Wow, look at that. Emergency brake release. That's pretty cool. I think the British folks like this. They like for the brake release to be up high. They're fond of that, I believe. So
44,000 miles.
What?
The car had 44,000 miles on it.
Right.
March 3rd of 1980.
44K in 1980.
Yep.
that's pretty typical. It was 7 years old, 8 years old. Not bad. Was that an oil service sticker? The seats, I'm not sure if they're savable or not. There's a rip there. A pro could probably save this leather, but I don't know. They'll probably shine up and look really patina-ish and look okay, but I don't know. We'll just have to see. So let's see. We got blinker stock. Take a closer look here, and I got the standard Mercedes headlight switch here. Got vent control. Those still move apparently. We got, that's the wiper control. We got speed 3, 1, and 2, and then that's the washer, I'm assuming. And I'm guessing this car does not have cruise control. I'm not seeing a cruise control stalk. No big deal. I've got the traditional Becker. What do we got? The Becker Corona 2 stereo, AM FM. Pretty nice. Standard air conditioning. Have no idea how that works. This looks vent control, fresh air, 0, 2, no clue. This looks like temperature. I really have no idea how this. I'll have to read the book. I guess that's the fan speed. Fasten your safety belts. 105,000 miles. Standard Mercedes type instrumentation. Fuel, oil, and temp. Tack. And then the little odometer reset doohickey. And I guess, not sure what this little knob here is. Probably maybe the illumination brightness. I don't know. Have no clue. This looks like a defogger. In the rear glass, yeah, in the rear glass back there in the hard top is a defogger. So that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, I was wondering what that wire was when we were putting the top on. Now we know. There you go. And the back looks, I mean, it's dirty, but you know, the carpet's fine, and all the interior panels are fine. The C pillar back there, or B, I guess you'd say in this car, seems to be okay. It just needs to be cleaned up. And the top is dirty. I think it'll. It's soft and pliable. I think it'll clean up nicely. Standard day-night mirror. And there's not anything in the glove compartment at all. I don't know what that is. Maybe there's a light socket in there. I'm not sure what that is. That looks like a speaker. And there's another one over there. Yep. So window switches. I guess this is the flasher button, if I had to take a stab. And then the standard Mercedes type shifter. We're going to leave that in neutral. We're not touching that. And I'm not touching the big fat pedal either, because I got to get this car off the trailer and we got to get it into my shop tomorrow. So I don't know if the brakes work. Don't really care. But we have a plan to address it. And we'll see you guys tomorrow back at Impala Man's Garage. All right, we've got the old girl in the shop here. Need to come up with a name for this old R107. I don't know. I'll come up with something here in the next few days, hopefully. So yeah, it's in here backwards. Yep. I'm aware of that. You know, no brakes coupled with no engine working, and you know, steep driveway and car trailer. You get it, right? So I just backed it down and rolled it up in here with the help of my #1 son. So it is what it is. This is the way it's going to be for a little while. I'll just work on the engine down there. Let's go do that. I think the first thing I want to do is pull a couple of spark plugs and just, you know, see what we're dealing with. I'm going to need to pull the car forward a little bit so I don't have to do a bunch of calisthenics every time I want to get into it. I'll do that later. Those flat tires don't roll real well. Goodness gracious. I don't guess this one has these fancy S-Class I can go up a mile feature, does it? Nope, I don't reckon so. I suppose you could take the springs off and, no? Well, I forget about all that. All right, so we're gonna need some light underneath here. And I'm gonna shoot for an easy one to get to over here on the driver's side first. And let me get some light and some tools and whatnot, and let's take care of that. All right, let's just start with this guy right here. Why? Because, well, it's easy. These things are substantial. Holy cow. That's impressive. All right, so we got our spark plug wrench here, which I incorrectly identified earlier as something unknown because I didn't know what I was talking about. So yeah, 21 millimeter, or I believe you can do a 13/16 according to the internet. So Yeah. I guess it's part of the standard kit. I'm not sure. Oh, that's got a 3/8 on it. Let me get a socket wrench for that. Kind of a tight fit. It's going to be a challenge to get the rest of these plugs out of here, but we'll manage this. There we go. That's all right. This spark plug wrench has a swivel on it. That's really nice. I guess it's part of the standard Mercedes tool kit. Have you ever worked on a V8 gasoline Mercedes engine before? Absolutely not. But I'm doing it now. All right, got the little rubber thing in there to hold it. So it's black and sooty. So I'm assuming during its last days it was running maybe a little rich, who knows. So how well the D-Jetronic fuel injection was operating during its final days is up for debate. It was probably running okay, but it looks like it was running a little rich, so yeah. This is a Bosch Super R107 and it is made in Germany. So if the car was serviced at some point, it says Germany right there. If the car was serviced at some point, they put, OEM plugs in it. These are probably replacement plugs if I had to take a stab. 105,000 miles in the late 1990s. They might have been the stock plugs, I suppose, but I don't know what the stock plugs would have looked like, so I couldn't tell you. So these are probably replacements. But anyway, I digress. Let me get the borescope camera out, and we'll take a look at that cylinder down there next. All right, we're going to do a deep dive on cylinder number 5 over here. And check it out. Just some common carbon on the top of the piston there. And that doesn't look bad over there. Let's see if we can see anything else. There's some rusty stuff over there. Not sure what that's about. Looks like some carbon fell down from the valves up top. This piston is pretty high in the bore, so I can't maneuver really well. But it's not. It looks like from initial indication it's going to be fine. All right, we're going to move over to number 6 now. See what it looks like. It's a little further down in the bore. That one looks really nice. There's a marking on the. If you can see the marking on the pistons, you're doing okay. There's a 10. Is that a marking matching the piston to the cylinder? Or is that a marking indicating that the engine has been bored out and they put oversized pistons in it? There's a puppy dog barking. This looks really clean. Whoop. So, okay, this is where something, yeah, I've seen this, and I've never seen it personally, but I've seen it in other videos and whatnot. Guys, I'm assuming this is on the low side where some kind of, something has been sitting there, right? Was it a mouse taking a leak, or was it, whatever. There was basically, that's the low side, and whatever was on the piston, it rolled down and sat there for a little while and did a little corrosion. But, yeah. I think it's going to be okay. All right, let's move. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Let's take a look. See that? That's crosshatch right there. So in case you were wondering, the firing order is 154-86372, and the number 1 spark plug, which I don't know anything about this, I have to look it up. The cylinders on the right-hand bank, the passenger side in the US, this one over here, are 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5, 6, 7, 8. Why? Because, well, hey, that's just the way they decided to do it. All right, number 7 for going in for the deep dive here. That one's down in the bore. That looks a lot better. Look at that. Each one of them has that strange buildup there, which is, it doesn't look like it's accumulated corrosion. It looks like it's pieces that have fallen down when somebody turned the engine manually, I think. Let me get down in there and then I'll flip around and look at the back side of the valves, hopefully. There we go. Holy shit, what am I looking at here? Oh, I'm looking at the back. That's the camera. Silly. All right. There's the exhaust valve with the white haze on it. That's pretty typical. And our intake over there, fully seated apparently, because it's on the downstroke, probably. Interesting. I don't see anything here that's horrible. So, all right. So I got the spark plugs out of the passenger side as well, and I must say, removing the plugs from this engine is really quite simple. Well thought out. You know, I would not have expected anything less from Mercedes, except of course the battery's not in here. You'd probably want to take the battery out if you were doing a plug job. But anyway, same story over here. I got crosshatch on all my bores, and according to the camera anyway, and that same little pile of carbon debris. He said that the engine turned, which I think he meant, you know, he turned the engine with a wrench, I think. And so I'm going to make an assumption that says maybe there was some carbon and it was kind of like, hadn't been turned in a long time and it broke free and it fell down. I don't know. I'm just making that up. I have no idea. But it doesn't seem like a horror story. I just wanted to give the engine a good inspection before we even think about turning it over. I just, you know, I'm in no rush. I'm in no rush. So yeah, let me get the bore scope and let's take a look at the gas tank next. Let's see what that's all about. All right, so this vacuum line's connected to this fuel door just like it is on the 126. I'm assuming there's an air pump in here somewhere. I don't know where it is, don't really care right now. But I've got the lever that locks it, and I can move it with my hand. I'm doing that inside the trunk. So move it in, that's locked. And actually it wasn't locked. I pulled it out. It should not be locked, but it won't. We're just gonna, you know, we're gonna do the, it's just rusty. It's just, ooh, it's just crusty. That's why it's just crusty, Harris. You know, and the little drain is not good. There's a little drain here. When you spill your fuel, it piddles out onto the ground. So that's clogged up. We washed the car yesterday, so there's water stuck in there. I'm gonna imagine this is gonna be, oh yeah, let me get a pair of something. There we go. That was easy. What do you do? What don't you see on this cap? I'll give you 5 seconds. Rust. You don't see rust. I guess it's aluminum. I'm assuming that little bit right there is aluminum. It's steel on the 126. Out of curiosity. Nope, that's metal. That's steel. Magnetic. So there's no rust. There's no rust in there. That makes me happy. So let's take a look at the tank. If you can't tell on the camera, the tank looks, well, looks new, basically. Well, not, let's see. I mean, it's been covered up for 52 years, so, you know, that's what you get. All right, let's get the borescope camera. Where'd I put it? There it is. It's like a video. It's going to be a borescope video. That's what it's going to be like. I don't have enough cable on mine to, that sounds like a personal problem, Harris. Nobody wants to hear about that. My camera's too short, basically, you know. It's, all right, let's go down in here to the void and see what we see. That is, so far. Come on, get with the program. There we go. Get past all those corrugations. Look at that. Look at that. I don't know what that is. Some kind of, I don't know. Don't care. It's part of the fuel tank. Harris, relax. Look at that. Clean as a frickin' whistle. Little rust over there, it looks like, but it's like, you see that right there? You know what that looks like to me? That looks like somebody took this tank out and cleaned it. That looks like somebody got a pressure washer or something up inside this tank and cleaned it. See those marks right there? I'm just making a guess, people. I really don't know. This tank is in fine shape. That is just tremendous. All right, so yeah, I guess there's a little vacuum operated motor here and it controls the flapper on the, I'm assuming that's what it is, just like, you know, the later Mercedes, so for the locking mechanism. Got that squared away. Tank looks fantastic. However, we're still going to need a battery. So right now we've got an excellent fuel tank. Can't say the same thing for the fuel lines from here to the engine. You know, we're just going to have to see. Cylinder bores look okay. I can't see us moving any further into this without a battery because pretty soon we're going to need to turn the engine over. So yeah, let's go get some amperage. I think I'm going to move on to the timing chain next because it is a known thing. This single roller timing chain from the factory is a well-known trouble area that, well, they stretch for one thing. This is a factory OEM Mercedes-Benz air filter. That is pretty freaking cool from way, way, way back in the day. That is a substantial piece of kit right there, as they say. So even if I replace it, I'm going to hang it on the wall. It's going to earn a place of respect. So how does this come off here? I have no idea. It's just an air cleaner. Why is it stuck to things? Oh, it just has a... There we go. Hey, look at that. The rusty bolt came loose. So it's got a one of those rubber bushings, a little cracked. That'll probably fly apart whenever we get this motor fired up. Put our wang nut back in place. What else is connected here? What do we got? Hey, there it is. I was waiting. There it is. There's a mouse nest. I was waiting on that. Okay. Now I got to be careful. I got some kind of a... Oh my goodness, that's crusty. What in the hell is that? It's an electrical connector going up to some sort of a, I don't know what that is. A heater? Airflow? I don't know what the hell that is. No clue. We'll learn about it together though. So if you look down in here, I did earlier with the camp. Don't put your face in it, Harris. What a goofball. It's pretty crusty down in there. They've been taking a leak down in there. Hopefully the inside of the intake, man. Although it is closed off. I don't see how they could get in there. So let's get the vacuum cleaner. After that, see how well we can do here. All right, well, clearly I'm refraining from just going hog wild and ripping everything apart because that would be, well, unwise. Maybe I should wait till the next video. Oh my goodness, what do we got here? What is that thing? I don't know what that is. What is that? Oh, that's the coil. Still has the stock cover on it, I might add. Look at that. See that? That is factory. That has never been touched. This has never been... Little oddball things like that fascinate me. Fuel line pipe work here. Rigidly affixed to everything. All right, well, let's gotta start someplace here. Let's get this hose off of here. It's probably going to shatter. No, look at that. That was easy. Ooh, that's interesting. It has a metal mesh filter down in there. 10 millimeter, of course. Valve cover bolts Careful, careful, careful. That one back there is going to need a whoop-de-doo. Let's see, got a swivel on that. There we go. I mean, it just looks like nobody has ever touched anything. It looks like a time machine has came in and dropped a really shitty, dirty engine in my shop. I'm going to need to do a little more vacuuming here. Let me get that done real quick. All right, so it's about 10 minutes later. And I just found my air thingy, and I've been using the vacuum cleaner and, you know, all the things. Good Lord. Not done yet. Hopefully that looks slightly more presentable. Probably can't tell in the camera, but did a lot of de-dusting. Now, why do people say I'm dusting when they're removing dust? Isn't it de-dusting? Whatever. Is it possible to remove this? I don't know. Probably just going to go look at the book. Ow! There's a hood there. I can see why people stop making cars like this. Yeah, that one's pretty loosey-goosey. Look at that, and there's the telltale signs. You can see where the timing chain has been starting to dig into the head right there. It's got three little grooves. You probably can't see it, but I can. So that's a telltale sign that the timing, look at that. Oh my gosh, that's so loose. So yeah. But we could probably just kind of turn the key and just to make sure that the engine turns over. And I think that would probably be okay. But as far as firing it and cranking it, it's been sitting since the 90s. And I can sit here and tell that the chain is just stupid loose. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I can move it fore and aft. It's just absolutely absurd. So yeah, clearly, before we fire the engine and make it run, we're going to have to replace this chain. Absolutely. Valve cover's got the firing order on it right here. And then there's a some sort of a sticker right here. It says something about oil and the fan routing. Oh, it's actually a pictograph. Look at that. It's a pictograph, or it's a picture basically, a drawing of the oil level. There's the engine, here's the dipstick, and then here's your dotted lines down in the oil sump. There's a dotted line minimum and a dotted line maximum, I guess. And that's just bizarre. I've never seen that before. That could be very common on older Mercedes cars, but I just, you know, new to me, so it is what it is. I want to take the valve cover off, but I don't want to disturb a whole bunch of crap. What's the secret to getting the valve cover off without taking every single solitary thing off of the engine? And I cut that one problematic tire wrap. Zip tie, or whatever you want to call it. I really want to see the engine. There's nothing on the cam lobes. There's no pitting on the cam lobes. There's no badness. I mean, you know, you can see where, you know, they got 100,000 miles on them. All right, that's what we got. Timing chain is intact. Loose as a goose, though. Upper camshaft looks, you know, dirty, but doesn't appear to be worn or show signs of excessive wear or what have you. That looks like a washer down in there. That's probably the washer I dropped off of that one bolt that I got out of the back valve cover. I'll get that out with my magnet. It was sitting on the edge of the valve cover and then dropped down inside there. I don't see anything worrying here other than the fact that it's carboned up. These valve cover bolts have copper washers beneath the heads. I assume to seal. That's pretty fascinating, don't you think? What I find interesting and intriguing is all of the, you know, the factoriness of the engine. Yes, it looks like dog crap. Yes, it's old as hell and corroded, but it's all here. I think it's going to be okay. I think we can make it run. I'm going to put a little Marvel Mystery Oil down in the cylinders next. There we go. There we go. Whew. This is the Napa Ball Camp 720-1028, made in the USA. Highly flexible. Alright. I'm not going to try to get to that one back there. I'll go for WD-40. I might have got some down in there. We'll find out when the motor throws a rod. Alright, went down to Wally World and got ourselves an H6. The internet says this car takes an H8. But, yeah, you're not going to get an H8 in here. It's not all the way down in there because it didn't disconnect the battery hold down. Alright, we got our ground on there. Now let's see if we can get the positive on there without hammering it on. This battery was actually surprisingly inexpensive. Alright, here we go. Smoke test number 2. I dare say that contact is fairly good. This should be enough to just make the engine go woo woo woo, you know. Anyway, if the starter works, have no idea. Alright, I'm just gonna sit in there and turn the key and see if it whizzes over. It ain't gonna fire because, well, it's bone dry, ain't no gasoline in there. But I'm not gonna turn it long. If it turns at all, you know, don't want to tear anything up just yet. So, too many unknowns. Alright, okay, key position number 1. Key position number 2. Going to the start position. Try it one more time, I wasn't watching. That's good enough. That's all I needed to see. That's all I needed to see. Engine turns over just fine. And the starter seems to work just fine. Hallelujah. Alright, that's all we're going to do with the engine for this video. Let's finish up by doing an undercarriage inspection on the lift, which is to be preceded by lowering the garage door, lest we have a disaster. Ask me how I know. Alright, we're going to stop right there, do an inspection since I've never lifted this car. These European cars have like a ledge of steel that you're supposed to put the lift pads on. The 126 is a flat piece of rubber you lift up on, but Volkswagen and apparently this car are partial to having this vertical flange that you use. One more. That's good enough. Let's get you guys underneath here and see what's what. All right, so Dr. Eyeball and I were laying on the driveway in his house, and we were noticing a couple things. Namely that there's been an impact here. The bottom of this radiator has been pushed upward. I'm assuming this is the horn, and that is bent backwards into the lower rad hose right there. That rad hose is pinched. So, not a huge deal, okay? You could just, you know, loosen that, bend the bracket back, put it back in place, whatever. There's the other horn. This one looks like it's in the right spot. I had been thinking that this front bumper had been pushed up in the middle. I'm now reevaluating that. And yeah, I think it has. Yeah. Probably by an inch or so. You're supposed to be able to see that bottom piece and you don't. So anyway, that's stuff for another day. So typical New York rust. You know, it's nothing we can't take care of with chemicals and a wire brush. So got brake rotors, got shocks, got springs, got sway bar bushings that are disintegrated from sitting up. That is your vacuum reservoir right there. That is what drives the central locking system. There's no vacuum pump in this car. The engine stores vacuum there, and that's what activates the locks. So I'm assuming this is the oil filter canister. And looking up, I was curious about the compressor. I was thinking that it was a A6. It looks like an A6 Harrison style. See, USA sourced air conditioning compressor. That's my initial assumption anyway. Lower control arm, bushings, 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 bushings. All this suspension stuff will have to be replaced. So we got a steering stabilizer shot looking thing here. That's gonna have to be replaced. We got some seepage on the rear main seal years and years ago. That's why the oil is so low. And stock crossover pipe in the exhaust. That's fascinating. Dual exhaust with a stock crossover into one large muffler with two pipes out the back. That looks like a replacement tie rod to me. This one's black and this one's red. Why is that one red? You guys know why that one's red? If you do, comment down below. Anyway, there's the starter. Crusty looking rascal. This thing was driven around in the New York salty snow and parked up. And never washed. All right, where's my oil drain? Right there. I don't know anything about what I'm looking at. Got a lot of education at hand, I guarantee you that. So I guess these are fuel lines. And just surface corrosion, I'm assuming. That seems solid, no rot there. Floor pans here. Nope, there's one. Right here. Well, no, let's see, what do we got? They got a rubberized undercoating here. So let's just remove that. And that's great that my lift is on a hole in the car. That's awesome. Yep, that's awesome. That's probably the reason for that is because of that. That's the jacking point. And it's just a place for water to get in and mice to set up. And that's probably a mouse nest up in there. A lot of rust there. This corner, pretty gnarly. Wonder how far back that goes. Guess I'll be looking up R107 rust repair panels online. Same deal over here. Got to peel back all this, when we get around to it, we'll have to peel back all this undercoating. Yep, there's our hole. There she is. Yeah. That may have come from the, who knows, it may have come from the upstairs, the drain around the hood hinge or something. Yeah, same story here. A lot of corrosion just sitting up in the jacking point. I'm guessing rodents got up in there. It's going to be a major piece of repair here. Better quit looking at it until I figure it out later on. So Back here looks fine. It's just the corners. Of course, I haven't pulled the carpet back yet. The whole car might be ready to fall apart. These bushings here are, they look, well, they look like I expected them to look. What we got here? We got a muffler that is, no, I guess this is a, what is that? Is that a resonator? Exhaust has got a big honking hole in it right there. And muffler's back here. So. Yeah. Well, let's take a look at the rear suspension and drive line. Calipers. I don't see any leaks on the axles. That's good. What do we got up here? What is that? Interesting. What is that? A line going somewhere. Might be part of the central locking system. Got a fuel accumulator, made in Germany. This stuff is stock. It's never been off the car. Fuel pump. There's your fuel line going towards the engine, dry as a bone, and loose. Somebody's been in there. Oh no, I take that back. The bushing is broken right there. All right, we do have a stabilizer anti-sway bar back here, and it's got bushings on either side. Pivot points back here. And that pivot point is actually separated from the, you probably can't see it, but that pivot point is actually separated from the, because the rubber fell away, so over time. This one's probably the same way. Yep. It's a ball and socket type connection. Well, there you go. Under hood, under body inspection. Looks like a horror story. Well, not really. It doesn't look that bad. I mean, I've seen way worse hunks of junk on YouTube in the last couple of years. People are pulling out some real nightmares out of the woods and out of junkyards and stuff. So, yeah. What do we got here? A bunch of undercoating. Oh man, it's like a cloth. Look at that. That's weird. But it's all clean up in there. What is that? Let's look up there real quick. Yeah, it's like a rubberized undercoating. That didn't work. Crusty up in there. That's probably corrosion that came down from above. Oh my God, Wes, that's a mess right there, up inside there. I'm glad this car didn't cost a lot of money. Yeah, boy, I wonder if the other side is the same way. No, that one seems, well, I don't know what's lurking beneath that coating right there. So, this side over here. Holy cow. So, I'm assuming there's a drain in front of the windshield. And is it plugged up or something got plugged up and water couldn't drain? That's what I'm guessing. So, that's, anyway, when we get ready to do body work, you know, that'll be a thing. Most definitely. But for now, we're gonna try to get it running. All right, well, there you have it. It looks like we've got at least a couple of years worth of videos. I told myself I wanted something to make video content on, and I wanted it to be Mercedes, so there you are. Oh boy. Hopefully I haven't bit off more than I could chew. We're gonna have fun though, you'll see. Hey, I appreciate you guys stopping by the channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to be notified whenever I release a new video, don't forget to click that little bell down below. You guys know where it is. I appreciate you stopping by. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Trust me.